Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya and I teach creative people how to sell their art online. And today we are all about how to make and sell educational printables on Etsy or on any other different platform. And the reason why this topic surfaced, unlike a lot of my videos that I either have a topic that is really close to me or a topic that you guys request, this topic actually surfaced from the place that I'm living in. To those of you who don't know, I currently live at the Four Leaf Clover in Bansko, which is a really nice community of expats and digital nomads. So there are a lot of people here that work online doing so many different things. And we talk to each other. We ask each other, hey, what do you do for a living? We are eager to learn from each other, whether we're doing something related. I have a few friends here who are YouTubers, and some of them are going to be hosted in this channel. But I also have friends who do nothing close to what I'm doing on YouTube, but they are interested in things like printables or print on demand. And in the past 3 months, there have been several conversations that were really long with me and some of the other tenants here that revolved around the education of English, education of kids, how to make printables for kids, educational printables of various kinds. And I think that I spent pretty much the same hour in a loop with each and every one of these people within these conversations, going on to Etsy, showing them the different things that people are selling with educational printables, or if they're printing it out on physical copies like flashcards on actual cards or flashcards with printables, which, by the way, we had a full tutorial on how to make and sell flashcards, like printable flashcards on Etsy, and there will be a link to that down below. You can go ahead and check that out. But today we are all about educational printables, and I'm here to basically give you the exact same conversation that I've had with these people, because I think that it's a good method of doing things. And when I'm talking about educational printables, there are so many different types of educational printables, and you can just, type in educational printables on Etsy or educational sheets or printable educational games, and you'll see so many things that awesome people are selling to help kids educate themselves, learn how to write, learn how to read, do fun memory games, and just make it like this amazing fun experience from learning something as simple as writing down your alphabet. Some of my favorite educational printables when I was looking at Etsy were everything to do with trace writing, as well as some interactive games that combine color that kids can just look at. Like, for example, circle the odd picture. Like, you'd have a picture of an apple, a banana, a boat, and an orange. So circle the one that doesn't relate to the other, which is the boat, because you can eat all the rest, but I don't think eating a boat is tasty. And I was looking at these games and I was thinking to myself that it is rather simple to make a good product. All you have to do is check out what sells, what's good, what people are looking for, and make it your own. Just make sure that you make a collection of it, that you give people enough. Because if we're talking about educational sheets, for example, a full sheet for the letter A, you're not going to be selling it as the letter A. You're going to be selling it as a full printable educational book of all the alphabet letters. And well, that's what I want to design with you guys today. So we're going to go to my computer, open Canva, and design 2 types of educational printables. And later on, I'm also going to show you how to take these educational printables and place them in sort of a mock-up photo, so you can upload that photo onto Etsy, Shopify, Payhip, Gumroad, wherever it is that you're selling your printable items. The elements that I'm using throughout this tutorial are either free elements that I got from Canva or a font that I got from Creative Fabrica under my license. And I took this font and I uploaded it onto Canva, and I'm going to leave a link to that font down below so you can go ahead and check it out as well. But the most important thing for me to tell you guys is truly make it your own. If you know how to use Photoshop or Procreate or Clip Studio Paint, don't use these trace fonts. Don't use these methods. Just make it flat out yourself. That is the one and only way to ensure that your product, your end result, your educational printable is unique and special and stands out. Once we finish designing these printables, designing basically the photo that you will need for Etsy to showcase these printables, we're going to go back to me and we're going to talk about the most important things when listing this listing on Etsy or on any other platform, whether it's the description, the tags. What are you supposed to basically tell people what they're getting? Why would they want your educational printable out of all the rest? and a little bit of a tip about pricing and discounts. But that's for later, because right now what we're going to do is go to my computer and have fun designing two types of educational printables using Canva and a font from Creative Fabrica, and how to mock up it for Etsy. Let's get started. So the very first thing I did today preparing for this video is to go to Canva and to go to my brand kit, and then click here on upload a font to upload the Carly School font from Creative Fabrica. I am obsessed with this font. It's a super cool font. We're not going to be using it just as is. We're not going to be selling a full page that is just using this font, because we want to make sure that we're using it legally. I'm also going to be shading it. And if you can make your own fonts, your own trace fonts for any purpose, go ahead and do it. For me, this was a quick and easy way, and I downloaded both the Carly School Dots and the Carly School Regular to match. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to home and select an A4 document size. Now, if you believe that the majority of your designs are going to be sold by people from the States, you can go ahead and choose US letter size. I prefer to work with an A4. As you've seen in the beginning, there are so many educational printables available on Etsy, so many different styles. But there are several ones that are sort of a favorite to me, and I like to make them my own way. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to text and just create a heading. And what I want to do here is to create a page that is for a letter. So, let's trace a letter, let's color a letter, let's make it fun. So I'm going to write down the letter A. And this heading, this piece of text, is basically a guideline for the page. And it's most recommended that these will be in the same fonts and styles and colors of your actual Etsy store or wherever it is that you're selling these printables. This should be branded in your style. Now I'm going to copy paste this line, place it down below, and write something like educational printable letters fun by lalala.etsy.com. And this would be basically a place for you to write down your own store's name. This is sort of your way of branding yourself on top of each and every page. You can do it in a different font that is a lot slimmer, and it will be cool and small, and basically mentioning the names of the project, the name of the educational book, making it a real part of a certain book. I want to make sure that this title matches as well. Let's place it in the middle. You can style it in various ways. You can give this a heading, a line on top of it, a banner of some sort. For example, I can be using this in the back and put the letter A on top of it, maybe make it a bit smaller, center it, sort of style it to make it, cute and accessible to kids, because it is something that kids are supposed to like and supposed to want to do. And I kind of like to make everything that I do in black and white for two reasons. One is because a lot of parents don't have colorful printers. And the second reason is because everything you make in black and white can basically become a coloring page. So that's something that I really, really like. What I'm going to do now is, again, copy paste another text, write down the letter A, and go to my tracing font, to the Carly School Dots font, and transform it. This is a capital A. I'm going to make this almost all across the line. Click on space, another A. And basically creating several A's for kids to trace. I can make them slightly bigger, and bigger or smaller is dependent on the age of the kid that you're targeting this to. I know that, for example, we have trace letter pages that are huge and only have like 4 letters for younger kids. We have smaller traces for bigger kids. It's all up to the designation of this page. I'm going to copy paste this and then do the same with the small letters, with the non-capital A. And then I'm going to grab again a text, copy paste, write down just one big A, and change the font to the Carly School Regular, the one that is full. I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to go to my effects and make it hollow. I can also control the thickness of the hollow. And this is a cool thing that kids can color. So I'm going to put this A here. I'm going to copy paste it again and make it a small A, again, for kids to color, and place it here. And now I'm trying to think about words that start with the letter A. And staying on my elements, I'm going to write down apple outline if I want it to be a coloring page. I can just write apple without outline if I just want the graphics. And I have a nice free graphics here that I can transform all of the colors into black, thus creating an outline. And what I'm going to do with this little apple is copy paste this text here and write down apple. I'm going to make it slightly bigger like that. And in a lot of cases, what I also like to do is to grab these two fonts and change the color from infinite black to a bit brighter. So it will be actually tracing on it. It's not going to be fully black. This is a personal decision, obviously. You can do whatever you want. And I'm also thinking about maybe making the word arrow. And the arrow outlines that I have here are not so pretty. Let me just maybe just select arrow. And we have a bunch of arrows here. I'm not seeing anything with a specific gorgeous outline that I would like to be using. Let me just see, maybe this one. This is a cool free one that I can flip to the other side, place it in here, and color everything inside in white so that people could use this one as well as a coloring element. And this is for the letter A. Now all I have to do is basically duplicate this page, change it to the letter B, and change everything based on that. And this would be another alphabet page for trace writing and for coloring, which is obviously something that you're also explaining when you're listing this item on Etsy. Moving on, there is also another kind of cool educational game that I really like to do. And for that, what I'm going to need is just a piece of square. Well, actually, I can do it with a circle or with anything else, but I prefer to start off with a nice little square. And you can choose the different types of shapes to display it in different ways. I do love these elements because I do believe that kids can color in them, but this is not going to be a coloring project. And I'm actually intending to use coloring within this next design. So let me just find something cute. And it's insane how much I could just search for something cute and go lost and just search for hours and hours and hours. Trying to see this shape. And this shape, while it is adorable, it's also completely changeable. So I can edit pretty much anything I want here. And create, for example, a shape like this. Or just, let's just grab a shape that has an outline. So we don't have to work with this, even though that these are kind of cute. But I prefer something simpler. Let's turn this one into a different type of color and place my square here. I think I prefer to work with a rectangle. Maybe something like this would be nice. And I'm just going to put it like this. And I'm going to duplicate it to fit the other side. Let's take them both down, shrink them together, center them. And I can do 3 per line or 2 per line. You know what? Let's make it 3 per line. Let's just center this one up. And I've attached this close to this, and I'm going to remove it by counting the number of times that I hit on the left arrow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Copy paste it. Put it closely on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's play around with the colors a bit. Copy paste all of them. maybe not all of them. Maybe we'll grab one of these, then grab two of these, and place them to match. Let's make it a bit tinier, remove the gap a bit, and they are centered. And now what I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to copy the line below because I always want to make sure that I have credit here. Take all of this, remove it a bit up, and this would be educational printable circle numbers. And we need a title. And I wrote down circle the correct number of the objects. Make it centered a bit. And I do think that I want to work with a slightly different colors here. Maybe just make it really colorful. Again, you can also make it black and white. But I do want to create some more variety within my colors. Something pastel-y and nice. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this text, copy paste it, and place it in one of these squares here. Let's move a bit closer and place it all the way down here and write down basically numbers between 1 and 8. So these are numbers that kids are going to have to circle based on the elements that they see here in the pattern, in the square. And I'm going to collect all of them with Control A, change the line spacing to be minimized just a bit so I can freely go around here, make it a bit bigger, and copy paste this to each and every one of my squares. And because we have these squares in the exact same ratio, if I'm going to copy paste this one here and draw it up, it's going to keep the same ratio and it's going to look adorable. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to my elements and click on Cute, for example, to graphics. And I'm always sitting on the static and the free ones. And we have strawberry here. So let's go with our little strawberry, which is huge. Make it smaller and put the strawberry here 3 times. And this is basically means that the kid is going to have to circle the number 3. Let's go with a banana. And we can place our banana 1 time. Let's go with a watermelon. And place it twice. Reverse this one to the other side. Let's go in. And obviously, you can use your own graphics, make it your own. People say, there are so many people selling educational printables. There are so many people on Etsy selling anything. So how can you succeed? By making it your own, by making collections that people go like, oh, okay, this collection is worth it. This is a full book, so it's worth it for me. And trying to really make sure that you give out an end result product that if this is an educational sheet, that this is educational for certain ages. And that, for example, if you have a little niece, if you have a kid, you would like them to do that as well. I think it also relates to pretty much anything. And I know that it relates to a lot of people who started things off on Redbubble because the reason they succeeded was that they were designing print-on-demand items that basically they would like to wear. And it's true for pretty much anything. We have 3 strawberries, 1 banana, 2 watermelons, and 6 apples. And then we have an orange here, which I'm thinking about putting either 5 or 4 times. And I love that I have my guidelines here to help me make everything symmetrical. Canva is truly awesome. Once I only put fruit here, I can just say circle the correct number of fruit. And then I can duplicate this page and circle the correct number of dogs. What I'm going to do here is just delete all of the elements. Go to Canva, type in dog. Again, I'm only on the free graphics. Let's zoom in. This little pug. Let's take it up here and put it in 5 times. I can also put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This will be a bit harder. You know what? Let's make it 8. And then go on to this one. Put 1 dog. I can also make it a bit harder. Since I wrote down, circle the number of dogs in each one. What I can do is have a dog here and then not have a dog. Let's do a cat. And the whole point is to basically for the kid to circle the number 1 and not the number 2 because this is a cat and not a dog. So it's a bit more tricky, but it is kind of a cool trick to do and a nice educational game for the kids. Let's again take up another dog. Oh, I'm obsessed with corgis lately. I am truly, truly obsessed with corgis. Let's grab another dog here. Make it 3 of them. Let's grab this one. No, I want the Chihuahua. Let's grab this. And also grab another one. Like here. So this is 2. And this. So this is actually 3 dogs here as well. That people would have to guess. But it's 3 dogs. And here, let's grab a ball. We put a ball here. You know, just to trip kids and see what they're going to mark because it's only 2 dogs here, but 4 elements, 4 objects. Stepping back, this would be another educational sheet. And obviously, I can go ahead back here and just, change the colors. I can make them into coloring pages, use outlines, use different graphics. But it is a cool, fun, and easy way to create these things. And the next step of creating them, once you've created them, is to sell them. But in the process between making them and selling them, we need to create mock-ups of these. We need to place them in a way to be featured on our Etsy images. And for that, what we're going to do is we're going to download these files as JPEG files so that we can use them as full-on images to demonstrate to people what they're going to get. And obviously, when you're going to do it, you're not going to do it with the letter A and the letter B. You're going to do it with the entire alphabet. You're going to do it with like 20 of these pages and not just 2. But we're going to go back to home where I constantly have designs set out for Etsy stores. And the usual size that I'm using, and the size that I like to use for Etsy listings is 2454 pixels by 2020. Let's just open one of the previous designs that I was thinking about working on. Grab all of these and push them here as JPEG files. It's funny how you can get like a sneak peek into what I'm doing on Canva these days. And this is something that I've been working on for my own shop, but you know what? We can fully adapt it. I just don't want it fully gone. So let me just create a duplicate of this, make a copy, go grab it so we can do whatever we want. And there are some things that are important. For me, it's always important to have a logo here. This is my new logo, so I'm just going to keep it here. And we have some text elements floating around. And let's say the first thing that we have is basically the alphabet. So I'm going to grab 2 of the pages. And again, this should be the full alphabet, not 2. I'm just going to grab 2. And on each image, I'm going to click on Edit Image and then Shadows and give it a little drop shadow. So it's going to be nice. And there is coming up a full Canva image effects tutorial because there is so much to do with Canva images and you guys have requested. So I'm just going to skip this part a little bit faster. And there is a tutorial on that coming up in the next few days. And now I'm just going to put this one here, and I have a lot of different elements here. For example, I have this text, and This was not designed to be something for kids, so it's not really designated for that. It doesn't have the colors to be, kid kind of colorful. So what I'm going to do is go around it and try to see if I can make it my own. So I wrote down A to Z worksheets, and I'm thinking I might want to put my logo up top and this at the bottom. And here write down something like print at home to make sure that people know that this is not a physical copy. I have my background here, which I can edit. This is a gradient blue background, but obviously you can have any background that you want. Just, let's go to backgrounds, and I can find something easily that will be more playful and more fun, for kids or for anything that will look a little bit better. Let's go to the print at home thing. Let's make it in green, write it very big. Let's make this one a bit smaller. Let's go to my effects. I want to give it a little bit of a shadow. Maybe something like this, print at home. And you can write down, for example, the number of sheets that you have, the format that people are getting. And I also like to make the logo a bit bigger to make sure that it will cover one of these pages so that people cannot steal these pages without downloading them. And the second thing that we need to do is explain something about it or give it a vivid kind of look. And for that, I kind of like to go to Place It, where we have amazing mock-ups of kids. These ones might be nice, like a photo of this basically next to the kid. I'm going to insert my image here, make sure that it's in the right size. And of course, this was made as a US letter size, but it works here as well. And download. This is not the perfect thing. I kind of wanted the girl to be, coloring this, but it is a nice mock-up to visualize how this is something that can combine in the kid's life. And I'm going to download it, go back to my design, upload it here. And what I'm going to do once I have a style here is duplicate this, delete these pages, grab the nice little girl here. And let's see if we can make this cooler and adjust my title and work on something like that. Now, if I have these kind of numbers, I'm basically going to do the same. I'm going to put these in the back and change the A to Z. You can write down instructions. So for example, if I'm going to grab this and duplicate it just to have everything I need, let's put in this, for example, place it here, and basically create explanations on it. Trace the letters, color the letters, color the apple, color the arrow, and basically create a tutorial around this. You can also make more photos with different products that you have, or if you have like a complimentary product or if something is coming for free with this, or make sure that people know that you can customize the pages if they want to. And once we have that, we're all set to be uploaded onto Etsy. And we're going to get back to me to give you important guidelines of how you need to upload educational printables onto Etsy, what you need to write down in the tags, what you need to write down in the description and in the name. I hope you enjoyed this part of our tutorial. I hope that you can see that it's all about being creative and trying different things. And a lot of the times it's repeating yourself because, this is what people do with educational stuff. We constantly repeat ourselves because if a kid repeats that same action, they learn better. I hope that you enjoyed this part of the tutorial. If you did, feel free to give it a like because every time you do, YouTube thinks that this is a cool video and it's going to show it to more people. But I'm going to stop yapping now. We're going to get back to me and talk about the most important factors about listing educational printables on Etsy, as well as what we have in store for us for the end of the month of September. And we're back to me. And I did enjoy making this tutorial. And I kind of hate that I made this tutorial because every time that I do something like this, it pops into my head, oh, I should have an Etsy store about that. I should make a website about that. And I'm trying to stay focused within the niches that I've selected to myself to Q4 because I think that a lot of people have this misconception that, you know, if you lack creativity, you're not going to succeed in selling printables or selling print on demand online. But the truth is that if you have too much creativity, if you have too many ideas, you're basically going to have too many ideas to actually do something. So I'm going to hold myself tight and I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to be selling educational printables. I decided to have an affiliate website with jigsaw puzzles and print on demand for puzzle lovers, and I've decided to have an Etsy shop for clip art and seamless patterns with my own art that I'm starting to make with Procreate, as well as spend a lot of my time creating acrylic pouring digitally and placing it on other platforms for print on demand. And I'm super excited to be telling you all of that in a different video, because if you just stayed for this video, then you probably want to know how you can sell these educational printables on Etsy. I mean, what do you need to write down? So let's break it down for you, starting with the very first thing that you need to have: a name. And for the name, I do recommend that if you make these collections, you give them a name of your own, like Circle the Objects, Educational Printable Book, or something that talks about what is so special about that book. And of course, as I said at the beginning, you won't make a single sheet for the letter A and a single sheet for the letter B, and people will purchase them separately. You'll make a full book for all the ABC. But what you can do is make a small book for the letter A, a small book for the letter B, and so on, creating multiple books for all of the letters on the alphabet. And there are so many different types of games that you can do. You just have to figure out what games can you do that people want to buy. And the name, make it your own. Start with the name of the actual book as if you were an author of a printable book for kids, a printable sheet, a learning book, an educational bundle for kids, and start with that. You will need to use several times the words printable, digital downloads, educational, education book, learning sheets, or homeschooling. All of these are amazing words that can be involved within the title of the name. However, when you look at the title of the name that you've created, try to see around 3 or 4 key phrases within that name that repeats themselves. And then those 3 key phrases, other than being on your tags, will also be showing up in your description. Moving on to the description, there are several things that are important that you will have in your description. The first thing is telling people what the product is, introducing it to them. Imagine that I'm sitting in front of my friend and she tells me, you know what, May, I'm looking for an educational printable for my child to learn the alphabet. And she can't see my screen, but I'm opening my laptop and I'm opening Etsy, and I found an awesome listing. And I found this really, really cool printable educational book for the alphabet. And I'm telling her what it is. I'm describing to her that I found a 26-page educational printable learning book to learn the alphabet with trace lettering of all the letters of the alphabet, capitalized and not capitalized, as well as some coloring elements with words that begin in that alphabet letter for each and every page. These are black and white pages that she can simply download and print at home. What I just described to her is exactly how you're going to start your description for your listing on Etsy. And right after that description, you're going to make a mark, a note, a very big one, that there is no physical product. Nothing physical is going to be shipped to that person. This is a digital download item that people can download and print at home. You'll also be mentioning under that the exact file type that people are getting, the size of it, and the amount. So for example, if I would have done the entire alphabet and download everything on a PDF on A4 size, so I have one PDF A4 size with all of these pages. The number of pages that you've done, whether they're 10, 26, or 50. Right under that, you're going to write some extra words about why this product is good. Who is it good for? Is it for preschoolers? Is it for first grade, second grade? Is it for people learning English as a second language or as a first? Emphasize what this product can do for someone's child or for a grown-up if they're learning at a very late age English as a second language. If you're doing a game resembling to what I did in the second educational sheet when I was talking about, you have to circle the correct number, give out instructions to the parents who are printing it out for their kid to know what is the goal of this educational game. Make sure that people understand how to use this. what they're getting, the fact that they're getting a digital download item, and how is this beneficial for the child. If you can create any of these pages in a custom manner, make sure to note that as well as note other different products that might relate to this specific product. So for example, if I have done all of this alphabet educational sheet with the tracing of the letters and the coloring, I could also say that there is another listing that goes along with it with number trace writing and give a link to that listing. Wrap all of this description with a simple thank you for having a look at my listing, as well as letting them know that they can contact you through Etsy at any time should they have any questions. Right under that, we have the tags, and I know that a lot of people are using services like eRank or Marmalade to basically know what tags to be using for their Etsy listings. And I think that for the majority of these, you'll pretty much have the same tag because these are printable learning sheets. These are educational printables. This is an educational game. This is homeschooling sheets, homeschooling printables, and all these different types of tags. But you'll also have tags that will be more specific to the actual product. For example, circle game, preschool educational game, printable preschool, stuff like that for the second type of design that I did. For the first type, alphabet tracing, A to Z tracing game, tracing printable, learn how to write, handwriting printable, handwriting game, handwriting assistance, and just try to really describe the big category within your tags, which is, printable educational sheets, learning sheets, printable pages, printable PDF, educational book for kids. Put that in as the biggest categories with several tags, but also several tags that describe the exact product. Right at the bottom of everything we're doing on Etsy, there is this part that is the hardest for most of the Etsy sellers that I spoke with, and that's the price. And the thing is, I'm not going to tell you how to price your items. I'm not going to tell you, hey, you worked really hard on that. Take $25 for that printable book. Because if you're a new seller, if you don't have any reviews, if people don't already trust you, why would someone pay $25 on that book when they can get it for $5 from a different seller with more reviews? So the first thing that I will tell you to do is do marketing research. Find people who sell something similar to your item and see how much they're pricing it with. My own personal way of pricing things online is look at your other competitors. Look what the best competitors in your field are selling, how much they're pricing their items. Make an average of that. So let's say I found that the majority of people who are selling this alphabet tracing, coloring, printable educational book sell it for $5. Let's say that's the average. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that average amount, add 30% to it, but go to my Etsy store, to my dashboard, to my promotions and marketings, and add a sale so that if people purchase 3 items from my shop or more, they get 30% off. And in that method, it's really good for getting started because you'll have more people purchasing more listings, and they might want to purchase something from you knowing that they'll get a discount if they purchase several things, because I don't know any kindergarten teacher or homeschooling parent that only needs one educational printable for their kid. They never need anything else. It just doesn't exist. So make sure to capitalize on that by adding sales for volumes. I do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I was kind of conflicted if to make this tutorial using Canva or using Clip Studio Paint or actually using Procreate, because I have been getting a lot better with my Procreate skills and I love using Clip Studio Paint to doing a lot of things. But I really wanted that this concept will be accessible to the majority of you, and I know that the majority of you are using Canva. If you want me to make other tutorials, like let's say how to make printable greeting cards using Procreate, how to make printable wall art using Procreate, how to make seamless patterns using Procreate, how to make printable cards or planner sheets using Clip Studio Paint. If you have any other kinds of tutorials that you want me to use more Procreate or Clip Studio Paint, please let me know in the comment section down below. You can also let me know if you have more types of printables on Etsy that you want me to make a tutorial for, or if you want me to investigate further on methods to sell digital downloads online, not on Etsy. We've had a video about that several days ago. I think it reached an amazing amount of views in a very short amount of time. I'm starting to understand that a lot of people don't want to use Etsy, and please let me know if there is a specific method website platform that you want to be selling your digital downloads on and me to make a tutorial on that isn't Etsy. And yes, I'm pretty sure PayHip is going to be one of them. I'm obsessed with PayHip, and I'm sure going to make a little bit more tutorials on PayHip in the coming months. And we'll be seeing you guys on Thursday, the 23rd, for a shop review video. And I still have not decided what kind of shops I will be reviewing, but you can still participate. There is a link down below in the description for a Google form where you can go in and anonymously submit your shops. Those could be shops on Etsy, PayHip, Shopify, Redbubble, Society6, wherever it is that you're selling your print-on-demand or printable items. And I know that a lot of people have been mentioning the fact that I don't do a lot of shop reviews, and that is going to change in Q4 starting October with shop review videos on a weekly basis. On Saturday, the 25th, I am all here to talk about Canva image effects, because there are so many image effects that can be used for both print on demand or for printables, including how to delete a background and using the deletion manual tool that is available on Canva. I know a lot of people don't know that you can actually manually delete stuff on Canva, but it is pretty awesome. And on the 27th and 29th, we have product review videos, though they might switch up at the last minute to different type of reviews based on the videos that you will ask me guys to make you, because Q4, as I said, is going to be incredibly different, and we'll be talking about the schedule for Q4 when I'll make the first video of Q4 on October 1st with my goals for September. Have I met them? What are my entire goals for the last 3 months of 2021, aka Q4, in order to reach this stable platform, my stability for 2022 with passive income. And with that being said, that was it from me for today. I would like to thank you all so much for watching, and as usual, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!